Let's see here. Workshops. Yeah, I see it. Uh, 1 second. It's gonna. Is my thing? Oh, okay. Oberon reward gesture. Goated wallpaper render here, right? By the way, like 10 out of 10. I just want to know why he's missing the shoulder spikes. Like, uh, my man, why are you walking in naked? Anyway, it's really good. He's the dude. He's finally gotten. It's just I don't even know where to start here because look at what they're doing to Oberon. Okay, that's basically it. But like, it's a whole list, and you have Pablo showing up too because why not? A whole list of changes, which is like already bravo, 10 out of 10. You didn't. I gave you 1 mile and you ran for 10 kind of situation. Like Reckoning alone, hold on. Reckoning alone got a paragraph of changes. And they're trying to turn it into like a damage ability. But like the thing that makes me so, I guess, stunlocked about this forum post is they did not just what I wanted. Like I just wanted all I wanted for Oberon was to decouple Hallowed Ground from needing to use Hallowed Ground from with a Reckoning because using them together to armor strip enemies is incredibly expensive. That's 150 energy at base, I think. Pretty sure. But either way, that's just like and then you have Warframes like Styanax, Necros, uh who else? Those are two that I can think of right now. And they can just do one cast and you're done. Also Hildren to an extent, because she only has one ability she needs to strip armor with. Maybe you have to cast it more than one time, but you're not reliant on two abilities for one function. Like they did that. They Reckoning where is it? Uh shoot, I can't read anymore suddenly. Bonus surviving enemies have half of their armor permanently removed. This was originally tied to Hallowed Ground, but that interaction is no longer required to remove armor. Otherwise, the armor reduction is its blocking is unchanged, as it was a critical part of Oberon's kit. You only need to cast 100 energy at base to strip armor with. That's all I wanted, really. That's all I wanted. But they did so much more. Uh, bonus armor. You get bonus armor. It's like a version of Frost's Overguard augments, but it's for armor, which is pretty neat. I didn't think Oberon was an armor tank kind of Warframe personally, but he can do it if you try hard enough. But now you can actually like go for it directly. Uh, I think the other thing that I wanted off the top of my head was remove the escalating energy cost for renewal because it didn't affect me too much personally because I didn't really play with a lot of summoner players in my games, but it can become a problem even if I were to have like specters or if you're trying to heal companions or defense operative. It just drains your energy when you're just healing so many people at once. Just make it a flat cost, and they did that. Remove increased energy cost per target. It now costs flat 3.5 energy per second, uh, regardless of the number of enemies allies it is healing. Huge. Perfect. I'm good. Thanks. 10 out of 10. You did your job. No, what? Range is now affected by ability range, affinity range. What? I can just wait for until I see the affinity icon on a fellow squad mate so I can heal them with it. That is such a load off of the effort needed to heal people, because the original radius was so small. You basically had to hug people without unless you built for like overextended levels of range. Also, you're not forced to like disable the healing anymore if someone were to like leave your radius and you're not and you I'm stuttering right now. All they have to do is enter your radius now while it's cast, and you're healing them. You don't have to decast it and recast it again. Perfect. That's great. No, we're not done. They even changed Smite. What? I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. I thought it was a fine ability. It was fine. It's not the best, but it did its job. And it can do a bit of damage if you knew how to exploit it. Say if you had like a mag bubble on an enemy and cast smite on an elite, that would destroy them. But you can't do that with just Oberon. You have to have a gathering ability for that to work, pretty much. So it can't really kill on its own. So it's mainly used for like knockdown, uh, minor radiation procs, and some puncture procs, since that's what the orbs did. But what did they do? No, let's give Smite its namesake back. We're going to have it strip our overguard and armor completely, completely, and they lose 35% of their current health and shields in an instant, capped at 75. Excuse me? Um, this enemy, he's being really annoying with the energy leech and the blast knockdown ability. I'll just boom. He's done. He's done. He's done. Enemies are now open to melee finisher when you hit them. This is so cool because if you were to build, you don't even have to like build for it, but it just enables you to like literally just tag an enemy for like, oh, you have like 5 seconds to live now, and then run up to them, gain invincibility as you do a finisher on them. Arcane ultimatum, hello, arcane trickery, finisher mods, finisher buffs. Oberon is an assassin now. I'm Smite Infusion unchanged. That's fine. They even went back and thought, the companion changes that we did a while back kind of made Oberon's passive a little redundant. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of redundant, because companions can just come back on their own. So let's just give him something else, give him a little refresh, because his passive is kind of redundant. It's just there. It only helps you if you're a new player. Righteous negation. gain invincibility for a quarter of a second for every health orb you collect. Why? Why would you do that? I'm not saying that's bad, but why would he already has the finisher animation when he's casting Smite and then doing a finisher on enemy. Now you want to give him uh, a mini revenant charge? I mean, I'll take it. Thanks. Oberon health. Wait, Oberon is receiving an armor buff with his rework. Base Oberon and Oberon Prime Dot. Oh, so they're really going into the whole like armor and health aspect of Oberon, which is fair. Like, I remember Renewal and Hallowed Ground used to give like a flat buff to armor, which, to be honest, I kind of ignored because it was really small. It was always really small, so you can just forget about it. Because unless you're like Banshee, you're not gonna feel the difference. And even then, your survivability from Renewal came mostly from the healing itself and Phoenix Renewal if he has that equipped. You're not gonna health tank off of another Oberon's healing anytime soon. But giving the whole team a little little shields around their person, that I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm kind of feeling the druid or paladin theme a lot more with this passive alone. Like we have Warframes like Titania, who can give healing over time just from casting abilities, and then Citrine, who can, I think she does health regen. I don't know if that's her passive, but she just gives you health regen. I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna look at the wiki right now because I'm gonna go off on a longer tangent. um, Hallowed Ground, I think I'm not even sure what I would have done to Hallowed Ground besides just fix the terrain issue because casting Hallowed Ground on certain terrain would make it not function the way it should. And I think that applies to a lot of his abilities, and also make the carpet do more status because 15% or whatever it was really weak. But I still really like the ability because one, you kind of needed it for the armor strip before, and it also status cleansed, so it had a purpose. Had a purpose. And like as long as you were on the carpet, you couldn't be knocked down. You couldn't take a toxin proc, and enemies, you would tag an enemy basically for armor strip through reckoning. But now you have even less of a reason to subsume off both Smite and Hallowed Ground, but Hallowed Ground because it has a radius instead of just an arc, kind of like Baruch's second ability, the sleep. They also increased the height of the effect. So that when you jump, it still gives you the buff. Hallowed Eruption duration increased from 2 to 200%. I'll take it. I'll take it. I have like one Hallowed Eruption build that I use sometimes. I guess this will help it deal more damage because the explosion damage is based off duration, so that's nice. Renewal, healing is double while standing on Hallowed Ground. As if I didn't have enough healing through Renewal already. They give you more. We give the people more. What was it, 40 or something healing at base? I think it was 40. I think it says it right here. Um, I don't see it. Eh, placing no, I don't see it. That's odd. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, pretty sure it was around like 40 to 45 healing at base from Renewal. Now they're doubling it whenever you have Hallowed Ground out. Like, oh, and the status of radiation is guaranteed for enemies that are standing in it, which is basically a permanent, it's basically a built-in chaos from Nyx now. Now that I think about it. Because like with Nyx's chaos, where is it? Previously 15%. Oh my gosh, I forgot how low it was. I thought I was just throwing out a number. You were literally gambling with the radiation proc chance whenever you only use that to damage an enemy. But now you can like pretty much stack it. That's gonna be crazy. But with Nyx, you need to have like the chaos augment for it to linger. But by itself, you just cast it once, and enemies are inflicted with radiation. But you have to keep casting again each time enemies spawn in. But this, now you can just cast it a few times, and the whole area is just crossfire. Everyone for themselves. Like they're not going to be shooting at you, certainly not, or at least very unlikely to shoot at you, which is great for like high range Oberon crowd control build, which I tend to use pretty often. Iron Renewal buff no longer requires interaction with Hallowed Ground, so you just get the armor buff regardless. Another instance of decoupling for this ability. Hallowed Ground stays winning. Yeah, less energy needed to keep your wits about you. Huge. Remove armor stripping from. Oh yeah, because that reckoning has that by itself. Great, perfect. Uh, we reduce the maximum number to three. That's fine. That's fine. Unless you're building for Hallowed Eruption, you're not really dealing damage with it anyway. Like you just need high range and duration. That's it. That's all. That's all you need it for. Or you don't even. Sometimes you don't even need high range if you're like using a health tank build or like a damage build, because just having it for like a little bit is enough because it has a good base duration. So that's going to be very nice. Nullifiers no longer destroy hallowed ground. Instead, they're simply nullify the effects for anyone inside it. Huge, literally. Again, for like high range nullifier. I mean, hallowed ground. The carpet won't be instantly deleted. I like that they're doing this version of nullifying abilities now, which is very much easier to address in game rather than oh I lost everything. What was it reckoning again? They're turning reckoning into a damage ability, which only really had that niche if you had hollowed reckoning on it, the augment, but they're also improving the ability by itself. You get bonus armor per enemy hit, caps at 1,000, which is not including his base armor, not including whatever mods you have on our Oberon. I don't know how much damage reduction you get from 1,000 armor, but it should be pretty good if you couple it with shield gating, his passive, uh, uh, what's it called, Phoenix Renewal, and whatever radiation procs you might have been dealing with this ability alone, by the way. I feel like the bonus armor is just like the buffer in case everything else in his kit fails. The passive, where is it? The passive, I skipped past it. The passive, which quarter second invulnerability plus, well, where is it? An additional 0.25 second, so half a second of invulnerability if the last charge is removed. Yeah, there's that, and then there's the healing, and then there's crowd control from all the radiation procs, and then there's your own armor, and that's if they even survive from the blast. Because now making it stack per stack of radiation on the enemies, which probably makes the augment even better. I'm not sure how this will interact with the damage pool from the augments, but it seems like it will make that even better, especially if you have like a gathering ability somewhere in your kit. I like to use Ensnare or Airburst or oh, what was another one I tried? Shoot, I can't remember it, but mainly Airburst and Ensnare, which are pretty big already, both of them. And you gather them all up, cast Reckoning, and then the pools from Hell to Reckoning just stack on top of each other. So that's gonna be fun. And then once they get up, they're not gonna be shooting at you probably, they're gonna be shooting each other. And then now they drop health orbs without having to kill them, which means you just have to. I mean, it's still a chance. It's still a 50% chance, which is, still gambling a little bit, but you're not punished for not killing them, basically, which is very good for high level. Also, directly ties into his passive. I'm guessing the more range you have with this ability, the more health orbs you'll be getting at once, which is probably going to encourage like more range builds. I think hopefully it will, because I think that's more fun having high range rather than just brute strength on the kit for Oberon, because that means you're going to be irradiating more enemies at once, and then you'll get more health orbs out the wazoo. Um, Enemies won't be blinded anymore. I never really felt the effect of this since yeah, I never really saw this in action personally, so that's fine. This is more of an Excalibur thing. I'm gonna miss it because of having it in the kit, but it's fine removing it. You're gonna be focusing more on the radiation than anything. Um, Now has line of sight when cast. Honestly, honestly, this was inevitable. I don't even mind that much personally because every Warframe that gets looked at, you're gonna have line of sight now. Like you're gonna have line of sight. You're gonna have to look the enemy in the eye, even if it's from across the map, and you're gonna have to see them when you cast the ability. I think the only place this will cause an issue is if you're in Hydron and you're trying to cast Reckoning in the center of the map. You only affect enemies that are already on the pod itself, which I don't really mind because I kind of stopped using Oberon in Hydron entirely and just went for Nova because she just speeds them all up. So there's that, but just like jump in the air, I think, and cast it, and I think you should catch more enemies that way. I tend to do that. Slightly increased casting speed. Oh, perfect. And now you can like move around and cast it in the air, and it'll barely take your, not barely, but like it's faster, less clunky. I didn't even think it was. No, it can be clunky without casting speed, but I think I got used to it because I don't always cast. I don't always put casting speed on my builds because I just accommodate it with moving out of the way first or something else. But this is gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice. The only concern I have, well, wait, reduce cooldown for Phoenix Renewal from 90 to 60 seconds. I'll take it. I'm not complaining. The only concern I have is probably for Smite because they removed they removed the secondary seeking projectiles from the ability. They basically made it a point it at the enemy and do the damage all at once kind of thing. I'm gonna miss the orbs, not gonna lie, because it's gonna that because of the whole magnetized bubble thing and killing one enemy instantly. But that's not something I tended to do anyway. It was more of a gimmick for me. But it seems like that thing is still gonna work to some extent. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna work with the new Smite, but it seems like gathering enemies first and then casting Smite on the beefiest one in the group is still gonna do a lot of damage in general. It's just gonna look a little different. Plus, you're just getting more with the new package. This new Smite. Funny enough, this reminds me the new Smite. It reminds me of the whole Prime SFX for what is it called again? The shock ability, shock. It reminds me how Volt Prime's shock looks when you cast it because it has a lightning strike. So now you're just literally smiting an enemy, marking them for death, and then looking them in the eye as you crunch them in the bone. Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. Because I'm imagining just because his signature melee weapon is the Magisar, which literally crushes bone. So doing a finisher with that is gonna crush some bones. But yeah, that's gonna be nice, very nice actually, because it enables a new arcane ultimatum kind of setup. I think that stacks up to what 1200 armor if you kill an enemy, at least 1000 armor, and then stack that with the bonus armor from the ultimate. You're gonna have a lot of armor, and that's without not even mentioning renewal, not even mentioning hallowed ground. Also buffing armor. I don't. I think it stacks. How much does it add? Oh no, it doesn't directly. It's renewal now. It's just renewal that does. My mistake. It was renewal that gives the armor now, not hallowed ground. You get 50%. Plays effective by renewal, given iron renewal buff, which increases armor by 50% for the casting Oberon and 100% for allies. Oh, okay. I kind of misread this at first. I thought it was gonna say allies gain armor equal to 50% of Oberon's total armor. I thought that's how it was gonna work, but that might have been more fun, to be honest. Like, if, say, you have like an armor build, like with all Umbra mods, and maybe some more armor on the side, plus the armor from the Reckoning. Like, you'd be giving allies a lot of your own armor already. That would be really. It feels akin to like Chroma's Elemental Ward giving players health, but without needing the augment to do it. But the way it works now, it's fine. So I'm guessing it just increases your own armor by 50% or 100%, depending on who you are, which is it's gonna have like a different amount of effectiveness depending on the ally's own armor. So if you're a Banshee, you're not gonna really feel anything. You're just gonna be relying on the healing. Also, just please. stay near the Oberon. Don't run on your own. You're not built for that. But if you're someone like Valkyr, never mind, she's already immortal. Korvax, Rhino, Excalibur, even if Excalibur wants to build for armor, I know he can kind of get away with a little bit of armor because of the Umbra mods that Umbra is built in has built in. I think a few other frames like maybe Baruch, but he doesn't really need armor either. Mostly for using the Umbra mods for more strength. But you don't really want to use armor mods on Baruch anyway. I don't think. Not for the armor anyway. But high armor enemy warframes say Inaros and Nidus and I think Kalervo to some extent will definitely feel the armor buff. I just wish that the I hope when we get this that you can scale the armor buff. So it's like I don't know if you have like 300%, 200% strength, you get like 500% more armor. I'm just kidding, but I kind of want this to scale with your power strength just for the fun of it. But by itself, it's already pretty okay. It's definitely better, in my opinion, than the flat value that we got before. Because I literally do not care for the especially on a low strength build that I would probably use. If you're gonna get like 100 armor, that's not really anything. But now with percentage of armor, you're gonna benefit, an armor based warframe, or at least it's gonna feel more tangible. Um, Now it moves with Oberon instead of applying only static zone. Yeah, it moves with you. Um, no longer stacks with other Oberons. No longer stacks with other. Oh, so like if you have another Oberon, you only the most powerful one. Okay, that's fine. I'm not entirely sure why they did this. Like, uh, I think I think if this was coupled with the escalating energy cost from before, then it would kind of be useless because you're getting more energy cost for nothing kind of thing because both parties are healing each other. So it's kind of like a feedback loop of nothingness. So I don't know, but even now, like only having one Oberon, maybe it's a coding thing. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I don't think it's a problem because either way, you're not going to be together all the time. So whoever's around either Oberon is still going to get their healing. So yeah. I think my other concern was does Oberon receives 10 armor for enemy hit when does this stack with itself? Like if you were to keep casting the casting reckoning, does it I'm not going to assume it does because if you were to like hit 20 enemies with one cast and get I don't know how that adds up just yet. And then if you cast it again and it resets, that would kind of nerf its own effectiveness because I'm gonna assume this stacks with more casts, like kind of like how Atlas builds up his armor the way he is now. Um, yeah, I think if I want to talk about the rework overall, like it's personally, at least personally, it's much more than I would have asked for. He's much better as himself, as a Warframe. I think Oberon is supposed to be this bastion of damage and healing and support and crowd control all at once. So kind of fitting into that whole paladin thing because he's a knight, kind of. He's like with his skin, he's literally a knight in shining armor. But with his kit, he makes it seem like he's a what's it called? He's a support frame who can do he's not even a support frame necessarily, but like he can do multiple things at once. Like he can deal damage, he can remove armor to help deal damage, he can heal his team, he can make his allies harder to kill, he can buff his allies through things like Smite and Fusion, which also debuffs the enemy through making them shoot each other. He can crowd control the enemy through radiation procs, making them not shoot you as much. I think it's especially worse for the infested because of the ancients. They no longer buff each other with the ancient auras and stuff. At least I think that's still how it works. So the fact that he's like so good at multiple things at once makes him a really good like jack of all trades kind of frame, at least to me, which makes it really cool to like build him for like, oh, I want to build Oberon for like crowd control, so I'm gonna give him a lot of range. Or if I want to give him a lot of damage, I could give him I don't know, Nourish plus Smite Infusion or Smite Infusion plus Roar, the Subsume. You can do that. You can support your team through a lot of buffs, or you can just do pure damage through. That's kind of the same thing, but you can do multiple things with this one Warframe. It's not the same as like say Excalibur or Ash or Octavia, who are just really good at one thing, but they can be built for different things to some extent. But a lot of other frames are like really good at one thing, and they're kind of specialists. They're really good at like some warframes are really good at killing things, and other some frames like Trinity are really good at keeping you alive while also debuffing the enemy, and also just making your team a dominant force on the battlefield. So Oberon currently before the rework, the reason he was held back so much is not his kit fundamentally. It's already good, I think. It was held back because of the clunkiness associated with it. The needing to cast two abilities just to armor strip when other warframes don't have to do that. Or, needing to have a subsume on Oberon just so Smite can kill things more efficiently. Or things like that. Or even his passive, which got antiquated by another rework to a system. Where was it? I don't think they directly mentioned what it was before, but basically it was that your companions got more health, shield, and armor and got a free revive, which used to be really good until it wasn't because they removed the permadeath from companions. So they gave you more of a evergreen passive where you get damage reduction through damage immunity, which you get through health orbs, which he also creates health orbs. Like it feeds into itself, I think. So the only thing they needed to do was to remove the dust on his kit. Make Smite feel like you're smiting an enemy, even if you're not necessarily killing them, but you're marking them for death, removing their armor and everything else, stunning them, more also making it so you don't have to cast and waste your energy so much just to keep your stuff going, and just makes him way more flexible at his own job. Like he doesn't need to be 5 million damage with like the flick of a switch kind of thing. You have Saren and Culervo and Excalibur and what's his name, Sight 9 for that. And also, if you want to do damage, just remove the armor with Reckoning. And that's much easier now. Thank you. I'll take it. I think this is meant to release October 15th. Dang, man. I'm gonna have to wait like what, 2 weeks? I think it's 2 weeks. Yeah, that's about no, that's more than 2 weeks, darn it. Uh Either way, I'll be busy. It's gonna be a little bit until I can get my hands on it. But I like it because you're not restricted in your role anymore as Oberon. You're not held back by your own I guess clunkiness. That's the only word I have anymore. And it just makes him feel more fun, which is crazy to say. Like I haven't been playing Oberon too often these days when I log on because I've been trying out other frames and whatever. But I also have a small soft spot for Oberon. He's like my most played, despite how often I don't play him lately. But like I also have like the most amount of builds on my Oberon, so that kind of says something. Uh, yeah, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10 actually, because again, I got way more than I asked for, and I only have questions, not this is bad, because again, I wasn't asking for much personally. I mean, I might have criticisms once I see an issue or something like that, but by itself on the face, on a bullet point, I like it. I like it. Yeah.